And Don, I don't know if you saw this. They put out a lineup. Anthony DiComo put out a lineup that the Mets had and said this is probably the opening day lineup, right?
Right.
You know who was batting fourth?
Who would be batting fourth? Alonso would bat third, right?
Yeah, he bats third.
So is it Vientos?
No.
No.
It's Jeff McNeil.
Yeah.
And then the bottom third of the order is Beatty, Vientos, and Harrison Bader. I'm sorry, that's not a great offense. And their pitching staff is a huge question mark at starting pitching. Their bullpen's okay because you have Edwin Diaz, but it's not deep the way he said. I think the Mets could be in for a very, very tough season.
Or, they could be. And then what the hope is that Beatty finds it, Vientos finds it, just like Alvarez found it last year, and then that doesn't look as bad, right? I mean, Bader is not an offensive player. So,
if he's healthy, he's okay.
If he's healthy, he's okay, but he's a defender. That's what he's known for. That's why he keeps getting contracts. Despite the 5 home runs he hit in the playoffs for the Yankees a couple of years ago, he's still a guy that's known for his glove more than his bat. But they're going to let Beatty play. They're going to let Vientos play to see if these guys are good enough. And if they are, and they certainly had a lot of expectations around them, it could break positive. And you're right, it could break negative. Those guys do not have a lot on the back of their baseball card, but they're hoping that they'll pop the way Alvarez popped last year. And if that's the case, then it may not be a long season. It might be a fun season that really gives you a glimpse of the future and then get you excited during next offseason when they'll be able to really spackle big money around what they hope are some of the good young players that have come together. So it's all about how you want to look at it. They want to look at it positively. You want to look at it negatively. We'll see how it ends up at the end of the day.
All right, but let me a little sodium pentothal into your veins.
Right into the veins.
Are the Mets making the playoffs or not?
No, I would probably say no. But I will be, based on what he said yesterday or the day before when we played it yesterday. I would be disappointed if this team was out of it at the All-Star break. I mean, I expect a team that's going to be around 500 and then competing for a wild card spot. Last year, 84 got the wild card spot. Now, maybe it'll be 90 this year. I don't know. But I'd be disappointed if this team finishes under 500 and they're completely out of it in August. That's not, he didn't say that. That's not the expectation that he laid out. So the expectation for me is fun, young team that is going to be on September 1st within 5 games of a playoff spot. And if they're less than that, then he laid out expectations that they didn't live up to. I mean, he's got to be held to his word, Michael. And he said competitive, and he said competing outside of the top 3. Then that means that this is a team that should finish above 500 and in contention in September. We'll see.
A lot of people have to play above their baseball card. A lot of people.
But that's the case for all teams, right? I mean,
no. Some teams could be. I mean, the Dodgers would be good if everybody plays to their baseball card. You're asking people to play above their baseball card.
Well, no. But in some of the guys, we're asking them to play above their baseball card because they're just putting together a career. Beatty's just putting together a career. Vientos is just putting together a career. I mean, if you want to skew negative about the Yankees, well, what's the health of DJ LeMahieu? He's definitely trending in the wrong direction. There's health questions around Judge. Is Rizzo going to be able to bounce back? He's 37 years old. There's a lot of age on the Yankees that you could say that they're on the downside. A lot of things can break against them. It's just like any other team. But when you've got a young team and you're playing a lot of young players, yes, it could bottom out. But you say play to the back of the baseball card. Some of these guys are trying to develop a back of a baseball card. And why can't they maybe find themselves?
And Rizzo's 34. A caller said yesterday 37.
Okay,
he's 34 years old.
That was stuck in my head. But still, 34 is not, an age where you start to get better. But the overall point is that anybody can pick apart a baseball team and say, well, if this happens, if that happens. That's the fun of the game. There's 162. But when you're putting a lot of faith in kids and a lot of unknowns, yeah, it could go bad, but it also could be fun.
Well, VP on Twitter goes, yo, Yankee boy. Mendoza came out and said McNeil isn't hitting fourth. First spring training game of the year. He wants as many at-bats as possible. Anthony DiComo said this could be your opening day lineup. And if you want to get him as many at-bats as possible, why not bat him leadoff, VP? Why are you batting him fourth?
Well, I mean, no need to go Yankee boy.
Because that's their fallback.
But McNeil is a guy. He's won a batting title. But
he had 9 home runs last year.
No, and I understand batting fourth. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But that doesn't mean that's going to be the way it's going to look all year long. But, I mean, is it possible? Nimmo should be good. McNeil won a batting title recently. I mean, he can get back to that. There's a lot of Marte's another guy, Michael. He was hurt all last year. There's a lot of things have to break their way, but that's not impossible. It's not impossible that some things can actually break the Mets' way for once. God, would it kill the baseball gods to have that break once in a while?
That would be nice. It'd be nice for both teams to have all the questions answered in the affirmative. Butch in Pennsylvania. Butch.
Big Butch.
Hi, Michael, Don, and Peter.
Hello.
Hey, Butch.
Love the show. I watch pretty much every day. I just wanted to make a quick comment on Michael's Pusick. I noticed he's hiding behind the microphone a lot more lately. Trying to cover it up.
No, Butch. That's how I broadcast the microphone.
But look,
in
you
front
can't
of
even see it. Right when he said it, you can't see it at all.
Is it that crazy? Is it that much of a thought to put the microphone in front of your face? We got to hear him.
I'll move it, Butch, because you want the thrill of seeing me. I'll move away.
Take a look at that thing.
I'm just picking on you, Mike.
Oh, look at that. Ugh.
How's it look?
Disgusting. Ugh.
I think he's making it work.
It's pretty funny, though.
You know what, Butch? You know what? When you lose a bet, you have to suffer, whether it's money or whether it's in the indignity of wearing something so hideous, and it's the indignity of wearing something so hideous.
I would not describe it as hideous.
Peter, really, if I grew this on purpose, like Anthony, would you say to me, Mike, what are you doing?
With the color too? Yeah. I'd say,
what are you doing, Mike?
Yes, I would.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we said that to Anthony. What are you doing?
Yes, it's not good.
Never took me aside.
Well, I care more than Michael did for you. That's the thing.
I did take Don aside.
No, you didn't.
I did take him aside.
You did? What'd you say?
I said, why do you have that long hair in the back?
You keep going back to that. That was way after Peter. That was way after the fact. That was not during Repug Don.
But you know what, Don? It shows that you don't listen to me.
That is fair, too, though. He did. I do recall him saying, Don, it's really a bad look.
I was pulling an Anthony where I didn't care. I knew what was going on. It was during the pandemic.
Well, I thought that's how you felt about Repug Don, too.
No,
you liked it.
I was trying to make it work, and I had no guidance. There was no coaching. It was ridiculous.
Coach me up.
Yeah, and you know what? And if I had friends then, everything that's happening now could have happened 10 years ago.
But you know what's
if Peter
bizarre?
Was on the show 20 years ago,
I would have helped
things
you then.
would have been completely different.
And you know what the thing is, Michael? Now, I agree with you, Don, but now I got to argue against Don. You know what the funniest thing is, Michael, about Don
Tell me.
growing the hair during COVID?
Tell me.
The reason people were growing out their facial hair and their hair during COVID
because they weren't
working or seeing anyone.
Right, he was on TV.
We were on TV.
Day.
We may have been. It was probably the most visible we've ever been.
Right,
but I didn't care.
We were with people every day.
I was having
care.
fun
Did you think
with
you were
it.
going to die?
No, but I was having fun with it. I knew what it looked like, and I didn't care. I was just.
Well, then how would I know that you would care about being repugnant?
No, because I was having fun. I hadn't had long hair since I was a kid. Clearly, this was not some sort of a fashion statement I was making. I knew what was going on.
Well,
but back then I thought I was making it work, and I wasn't. And the people around me
show us the picture.
Me
Yes, show us heaviest, Don.
Put an arm around me and said, Don, if for nothing else, your health. All right, how about that? We want to keep you around for a while.
I don't think that's
but you know what? The decisions you're making are ridiculous. Can you do something?
Peter,
but you know what? No, it was your place, and I'll tell you what, though, it really shows that Nancy is in this for life. She stuck that out. That's an unbelievable run.
Well, she doesn't even look at him.
Well, that's the other angle. She doesn't even know.
This was before then. We were still, married early enough that there was still
it could have
attraction.
Right. So
right
you think
now,
she would have cared.
With the two kids, kill the whole thing.
Sure, I got you.
Peter?
From upstarts to buzzer beaters.
Blah, blah. Try again. Take two.
3, 2, 1.
From upsets to buzzer beaters.